Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here. In this video we're talking about RetroArch, PlayStation Vita, Nintendo Switch, and gaming handhelds. Let's get started. Alright, we'll kick things off here talking about RetroArch, and RetroArch just got a brand new update, version 1.14.0, and this one is pretty hot off the press. I mean, this release is so fresh it hasn't even hit the official RetroArch website yet, but it probably will by the time you're watching this video, or maybe not. Anyways, version 1.14.0 has a whole bunch of fixes, improvements, and some brand new features. For example, for PS2 emulation, exFAT is now supported. Direct3D 11 and 12 got some improvements, and the menus and themes were cleaned up a little bit, and the menu got a quality of life improvement, the allowing of toggling info off with the exact same button. And again, at the time of filming, this version of RetroArch is only available on GitHub, but I'm assuming it's going to make its way over to the RetroArch website very soon. Check the link in the description below in the event that you want to check it out early. And speaking about early, next up we're talking about PlayStation Vita emulation on Android with Vita 3K. If you've got a Mali GPU, you might be happy to know that MacDo has finally started testing it and shown some results. However, there is some bad news, or possibly some good news depending on how you look at the situation. MacDo is testing Vita 3K on Android with a Samsung Galaxy A5 from back in 2017. That phone is by no means a gaming powerhouse, and yes, it's considered outdated. It features an Exynos 7880 CPU, and I think a Mali G71 GPU, so yeah, it's not even close to as powerful as the Mali GPUs of today. But here is Celeste Homebrew up and running at about 14 frames per second, and Tales of Hearts R is up and running at I think 38 frames per second, but I have no idea how long it's playable until it crashes. Now this is bad news because Mali obviously doesn't perform as well as Adreno. But at the same time here, this is great news because newer Exynos processors, newer Mali GPUs are a heck of a lot better. And next up, I've got another update for you about Nintendo Switch emulation on Android with Skyline, and Skyline Edge version 19 was just released. For those that may be unaware, Skyline Edge is the paid early access testing build of Skyline, and Skyline Edge changes generally make their way into the main version of Skyline within a week or two after they've been successfully tested. Skyline Edge version 19 just dropped and has some fixes and possible performance improvements. If you're a fan of Naruto, apparently all 3 Naruto Storm games are up and running, with Naruto Storm 1 at 30 frames per second and absolutely playable. In fact, with Edge version 19, they were able to get Storm 2 up and running at 30 frames per second. Someone has Captain Tsubasa up and running at 30 frames per second and looking really good. This appears to be Super Mario 3D World up and running at 60 frames per second. Scott Pilgrim is in game running at a whopping 141 frames per second, but it does crash. And this is huge. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet is getting in game. It's not playable, but this is huge progress. Now before anybody says, you know what, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet booting but not playable is not really a big deal. I hate to disagree with you here. Actually, I like to disagree with you. I love to disagree with you here. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet just booting on Android is a very big deal. Both Yuzu and Ryujin struggled with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet out of the gate. In fact, both emulators are still making improvements to improve the overall experience. The fact that Scarlet and Violet can just boot on Android is awesome and shows a lot of potential for Skyline moving forward. And last up, we're talking about JELOS, which stands for Subscribe to Mr. Sujano, or just another Linux operating system, I guess, depending on how you want to interpret that. If you want the latest and greatest version of JELOS, you will have to build and compile it yourself, unless you head on over to the Retro Handhelds Discord. UnofficialOS has just been released, and basically it's just JELOS with a different splash screen and already built for you. I'll drop a link to Retro Handhelds Discord in the description below, and feel free to check it out. And as a bonus here, let's have another Launchbox Lifetime License giveaway, and this one will be for either Windows or Android, completely the winner's choice. All you've got to do is send an email to launchboxgiveaway@mrsujano.com with the correct answer to this question. What was the phone that MacDo was testing Vita 3K on Android with to test out the Mali GPU? Send the correct answer along with your name and what version of the lifetime license you're looking for, Windows or Android, to launchboxgiveaway@mrsujano.com. I'll be selecting a winner at complete random within the next day or two, or possibly week. But anyways, that is all I've got for you in this one. Straight to the point, all stuff and no fluff. We talked about a ton today. Let me know your thoughts about absolutely any of it in the comments below, and let me get back to camping. If you like this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button, check out my other videos. Don't tempt fate, save your state.